Remember when Dr. Addison Montgomery walked out of Grey Sloan? In 2007, Private Practice gave Grey's Anatomy fans something unexpected. A spin that didn't just survive, it thrived. Set against the sunny backdrop of Los Angeles, this emotional roller coaster followed Addison's fresh start at the Oceanside Wellness Center alongside a team of brilliant, complicated, and downright unforgettable doctors. Over 6 dramatic seasons, we laughed, cried, and sometimes gasped at the twists, relationships, and life-or-death decisions that made this series so addictive. But here's the real question. Where's the cast now? From breakout stars to surprise career moves, from red carpets to real-life transformations, we're catching up with the entire Private Practice family, then and now. Kate Walsh as Dr. Addison Montgomery. She was the redhead who walked into Grey Sloan and instantly stirred the pot. But it was Private Practice that truly let Kate Walsh shine. As Dr. Addison Montgomery, she stepped out of the shadows of McDreamy and Meredith and took center stage in Los Angeles, leading one of the most beloved medical dramas of the 2000s. But Kate's journey didn't start there. Before her Grey's debut in 2005, she was solving crimes as Detective Marley Novak on Karen Cisco. Once Private Practice launched in 2007, her star power soared. For 6 emotional seasons, she captivated fans with her grace, grit, and unforgettable bedside manner. After saying goodbye to Oceanside Wellness in 2013, Kate didn't slow down. She dove into edgy roles like Fargo in 2014, an offbeat Bad Judge, and the heart-wrenching Netflix hit 13 Reasons Why from 2017 to 2019. And just when we thought she couldn't get more versatile, she showed up in the Umbrella Academy as the chillingly stylish Handler. Most recently, you might have caught her in Emily in Paris, bringing even more fire to the fashionable chaos. Today, Kate's 57, rocking 4.2 million followers on Instagram, and yes, still every bit the powerhouse we first met in that iconic white coat. Tim Daly as Dr. Pete Wilder. Before he was the charming, holistic doctor who stole Addison's heart in Private Practice, Tim Daly had already built a career that most actors dream of. Long before Oceanside Wellness was even a blueprint, Daly had his breakout in Barry Levinson's cult classic Diner, where his screen presence quietly demanded attention. He followed that up with soulful performances in Made in Heaven and Almost Grown, proving early on that he wasn't your typical Hollywood type. He had range and depth. Of course, fans from the 90s remember him best as Joe Hackett, the clean-cut, no-nonsense pilot from the hit NBC sitcom Wings. For 8 seasons, he had us laughing, swooning, and sometimes even tearing up. But Daly wasn't done surprising us. When he showed up on The Sopranos as a troubled screenwriter battling addiction, it was a total 180, and it earned him serious critical praise. Then came Private Practice in 2007. As Dr. Pete Wilder, Daly brought warmth, conflict, and an emotional complexity that helped anchor the show's ensemble. Whether he was clashing with Addison or helping patients through trauma, Pete was never just the love interest. He was layered, human, and always watchable. Beyond Private Practice, Daly's voice became iconic too, lending his tone to Superman in the animated universe, a role fans still rave about. From 2014 to 2019, he played Henry McCord in Madam Secretary, showcasing his dramatic chops once again. And from 2021 to 2023, he popped up in The Game, keeping things fresh. Now 69, Daly may be away from the surgeon's table, but he's still commanding screens and hearts with effortless grace. Audra McDonald is Dr. Naomi Bennett. Now here's a woman who didn't just step into the world of Private Practice, she elevated it. When Audra McDonald took on the role of Dr. Naomi Bennett, she brought a quiet strength, emotional depth, and sheer brilliance that made fans sit up and take notice. But for theater lovers, she'd already been a legend for years. Audra wasn't new to the spotlight. By the time she joined Private Practice in 2007, she'd already racked up 4 Tony Awards. And no, that's not a typo. From Carousel to Ragtime to A Raisin in the Sun, she's been a powerhouse on stage, owning roles that demand emotional weight and vocal magic. Her voice? Chills every time. But Naomi wasn't just a doctor or Addison's best friend. She was the show's moral compass, often stuck between heartache and hard decisions. Audra made those moments feel painfully real, and when she left the series in 2011, it left a gap no one else could quite fill. Beyond the clinic walls, she's continued to shine, appearing in The Good Wife, The Good Fight, and even live musical events that had Broadway fans glued to their screens. Her portrayal of Billie Holiday in Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill was so haunting it earned her an Emmy nomination. At 55 with 6 Tony wins and a resume that reads like a master class in performance, Audra McDonald isn't just an actress, she's a living legend. And yes, she's still going strong, gracing Instagram with updates to her 283,000 followers and lighting up every stage or screen she touches. Taye Diggs as Dr. Sam Bennett. Let's be honest, when Taye Diggs walked into the private practice screen as Dr. Sam Bennett, hearts skipped a beat. Cool, collected, and impossibly charming, Sam wasn't just a top-tier physician, he was the man everyone trusted, and let's be real, more than a few viewers crushed on. But long before he was saving lives at Oceanside Wellness, Taye had already made waves on the stage and screen. He lit up Broadway in Rent and Hedwig in The Angry Inch, proving early on that he had both acting chops and serious vocal firepower. And then came his big screen breakout in How Stella Got Her Groove Back. Yeah, that's the one that made him a household name overnight. From there, he just kept stacking up wins. The Best Man, Brown Sugar, Chicago, and a hilarious turn in Malibu's Most Wanted. No matter the genre, drama, comedy, romance, he owned it. In private practice, his chemistry with Addison and his on-again, off-again dynamic with Naomi kept the drama sizzling, while his grounded presence gave the show heart. Fans rooted for Sam, not just because he was easy on the eyes, but because he was layered, flawed, and real. After leaving the world of Grace Sloan behind, Taye continued to shine, leading series like Murder in the First and All-American. And in 2025, he returned with his signature smile in Lifetime's I'll Be Home for Margarita Day. Now 54, still rocking that ageless charm, Taye remains one of Hollywood's most magnetic talents, and yes, that smile is still a showstopper. Paul Adelstein as Dr. Cooper Friedman. Remember the quirky, big-hearted pediatrician who always meant well, no matter how many times he tripped over his own words? Yep, that was Dr. Cooper Friedman, and Paul Adelstein played him with such lovable awkwardness that it was impossible not to root for him. But Paul's journey to Oceanside Wellness started way before private practice hit our screens. His film debut came back in The Grifters in 1990, and he steadily built a solid career with roles in ER, Cupid, and even a brief stint on Scrubs. By the early 2000s, he was landing major movie credits in Bedazzled in 2000, Memoirs of a Geisha in 2005, and the Coen brothers' Intolerable Cruelty in 2003. Then came his breakout role in Prison Break in 2005, where he took a sharp turn into the intense world of conspiracy and danger. But just 2 years later, he traded in the suspense for stethoscopes when he joined private practice as a series regular, staying for all 6 seasons and giving us one of the most heartfelt bromances with Taye Diggs' Sam and the sweet roller coaster romance with Charlotte King. Post-private practice, Paul wasn't slowing down. He joined Scandal as political fixer Leo Bergen, starred in Bravo's Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, and took on roles in Hulu's Chance and NBC's I Feel Bad. Most recently, fans spotted him in True Story in 2021 and Cruel Summer in 2023. Now 56, with 229,000 Instagram followers and a career still going strong, Paul continues to win hearts with just the right amount of charm and chaos. K.D. Strickland as Dr. Charlotte King. She walked into private practice as Dr. Charlotte King, a tough-as-nails chief of staff with a steely gaze and southern grit, and instantly took things up at Oceanside Wellness. But long before K.D. Strickland was delivering hard truths in medical scrubs, she was carving out a name for herself in Hollywood's wild terrain. Her big-screen journey began gaining traction in 2003 with roles in Woody Allen's Anything Else and the romantic comedy hit Something's Gotta Give. Those led her straight into horror territory, starring in Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, and the chilling The Grudge in 2004. While critics had mixed feelings, fans quickly dubbed her the genre's next Scream Queen and the pride of her hometown, Patterson, Georgia. By 2005, she was showing off her comedic chops in Fever Pitch, earning solid reviews and proving she wasn't just one thing. After a short run on The Wedding Bells in 2007, Katie landed her most beloved role to date, Dr. Charlotte King. Fierce, flawed, and layered, she gave the series its edge, especially with her complex romance with Cooper Friedman. Since then, she's kept the momentum going with roles in Shut-Eye from 2016 to 2017, Cruel Summer in 2023, and more recently joining Chicago Fire from 2024 to 2025. Now 49, Katie continues to make waves both on-screen and off, connecting with fans through her Instagram, where 94,000 followers still root for their favorite queen of medical drama. Amy Brenneman as Dr. Violet Turner. Amy Brenneman has always had a strong presence on screen. Before stepping into the role of Dr. Violet Turner on Private Practice, she had already made a name for herself with powerful performances in both drama and film. Her breakthrough came in the early 90s when she played Detective Janice LaKelsey on NYPD Blue. That role earned her critical acclaim and multiple Emmy nominations. Then came Judging Amy, a show she not only starred in but also co-created, inspired by her own mother's career as a judge. The series ran for 6 seasons and became one of her most defining projects. In 2007, she joined Private Practice as Dr. Violet Turner, a psychiatrist who faced some of the show's most intense emotional storylines. Amy brought incredible depth and honesty to the role, making Violet one of the most unforgettable characters in the series. After Private Practice, she continued to take on strong roles in shows like The Leftovers on HBO, where she played Lori Garvey, a deeply conflicted woman caught in a post-apocalyptic world. She also appeared in Tell Me Your Secrets in 2021, Shining Girls in 2022, and The Old Man from 2022 to 2024, showing her continued range and talent. Amy is still active and admired in the industry today. She's now in her early 60s and keeps in touch with her fans through Instagram, where over 129,000 followers enjoy her updates. Chris Lowell as Del Parker. Remember that laid-back, kind-hearted midwife from Private Practice who made you wish Del had more screen time? Yep, that was Chris Lowell, and trust me, his journey didn't stop there. Before scrubbing in at Oceanside Wellness, Chris already had fans swooning as Stosh, Piznarski, in Veronica Mars back in 2006. He had that easygoing charm, the nice guy next door energy that just worked, and it carried right over to Private Practice. As Del Parker, he wasn't just answering phones, he was delivering babies, fighting for custody of his daughter, and leaving viewers absolutely gutted with his emotional exit. But Chris didn't stay in one lane. After his Private Practice days, he leveled up to the big screen, grabbing roles in Oscar-nominated films like Up in the Air in 2009, The Help in 2011, and Promising Young Woman in 2020. Not bad for a guy who started out just trying to find his place in TV drama land. And if that wasn't enough, he got behind the camera too, directing, co-writing, and producing the indie gem Beside Still Waters in 2013. More recently, you may have caught him as Jesse in How I Met Your Father, bringing humor and heart to a whole new generation of fans. Today, Chris is 40 and still in the creative game, with over 116,000 Instagram followers rooting for whatever comes next. Katerina Scorsone as Dr. Amelia Shepard. She's the no-nonsense, emotionally complex neurosurgeon who could cut through brain tissue and your heart in a single episode. And behind the surgical mask, the endlessly talented Katerina Scorsone. While many fans first met her in Private Practice as Derek Shepard's brilliant but troubled younger sister, Amelia truly found her own spotlight in Grey's Anatomy, where she's been a powerful presence since 2010. Her storylines, everything from addiction and grief to deep love and professional triumph. She's the kind of character who evolves, and Katerina's performance makes every twist believable. But her journey started way before scrubs and scalpels. Born and raised in Canada, Katerina made her TV debut as a child on the beloved show Mr. Dress-Up. Fast forward a few years, and she was leading roles in series like Missing and Crash, proving early on that she had the chops to carry emotionally heavy scenes. She's also shown her range in movies like Edge of Darkness in 2010, opposite Mel Gibson, and the spy thriller The November Man in 2014, holding her own in big-budget productions with ease. On top of all that, she's become a favorite across the Grey's universe, even jumping into Station 19 from 2020 to 2024, because, let's be honest, everyone wants a little more Amelia. Now 43, Katarina is not just killing it on screen, but also inspiring millions off it. With 3.8 million Instagram followers, she's not just an actress, she's a voice, a presence, and a force to be reckoned with. And there you have it, the incredible journey of the Private Practice cast, then and now. It's amazing to see how far they've come, both on and off the screen. If you enjoyed this nostalgic deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss new videos.